Welcome everyone to the Moving Famous podcast. We've renamed it 2023. Happy New Year, belated to everyone because this is coming out end of the month. But we changed the podcast name. I'll tell you why we changed the podcast name, right? So it was originally called What's Your Problem podcast because we was talking about people's problems. But what happened is, we released the podcast on the What's Your Problem on the Moving Famous Instagram, YouTube, etc. Because Moving Famous is a platform which we all jump onto, documentaries, videos, podcasts, anything possible. It was kind of like a GRM daily kind of thing that we're trying to build right now, right? But people are just getting too confused, and people were even naming the podcast Moving Famous. And to be fair, people call me Moving Famous when that's not even my name. So I thought, you know what? Let me just make it easier for all of you lot and just call it Moving Famous, the podcast. So welcome everyone to Moving Famous, the podcast. And it's a special episode today because we brought back old friends. And we got someone really famous here today. And he never turns up. Sachin, what's going on?
2023.
I changed, man.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Got a new studio now. So
Yeah, we kind of got a new studio now. And Rax, what's happening?
All good, bro.
Thanks for turning up, man.
I'm going to call you Moving Famous from now. I didn't know that. So people thought the podcast was called Moving Famous.
Yeah, because it was on. That's where we.
It makes sense. You're confusing people by you having like three different names.
Probably
Like
be on my
Kye,
side,
Moving
bro.
Famous. What's your
It's
problem?
It's true. No, do you know what it is, right? I see loads. I kind of follow too what other people do. So I see that like GRM will have a podcast, for example. They'll call the podcast something else, but release it on their thing.
Okay.
So like Boiler Room will have a podcast about something else. That name something else on Boiler Room.
Yeah.
Filthy Fellas, same thing. So it's like I was like, cool, and I didn't want to call it Steve Bartlett's podcast. Like I didn't want it to be like that because I want there to be an episode where like you come on and do it with someone else, or Satch comes on and does it with someone else. So I don't want to make it my thing because it's not my thing. It's all of us lot to jump on. So the only thing is that because I've started it, I've just ran with it. But now, for the viewers that will know, we're going to be doing this every month. All three of us. Someone else might come on. Satch's not available. I'm not available. Rax ain't available. We'll get someone else to come on, and we're just gonna talk every month, aren't we? Now.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Moving Famous.
Yeah.
Satch, you want to stay on your phone the whole
Bro,
episode?
I just got a notification from Raxstar's official YouTube channel.
Saying.
He uploaded while sitting here.
So then.
That's quite mad.
Is that shorts? YouTube shorts?
Yeah.
See, what was I telling you, bro?
What you just do?
I did that ages ago.
And then told him now.
But it's good. It's good. Like
Bro,
you
I
get
got a
notification.
notification about it.
That's really good.
What are you saying, Satch?
Nothing, bro.
Brother, 2023, Satch is looking to become an honest man.
Honest.
For once.
For once, he's getting married in 2023.
Yes.
That's a big thing for the podcast, you know.
What? We got extra guests, or does that mean I'm at the podcast?
Might have to. Judging on what happens, is you might be locked down 24/7. We never know.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm alright, bro.
When did you know that it was the right time to do it, or was you forced?
I don't think you know. I know you think you know.
What?
Huh?
When you knew that it was the right time?
Yeah. Because we had this conversation before. But personally, I don't think you know. I feel like.
Oh, as in generally speaking, you don't think people, like nobody knows, or we don't know
No,
when?
I feel like people. Some people might think they know. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is the one.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people, it just becomes a point where you're like, you can't see your life without that person, rather than you must have this person in your life.
There's a, you know the Jagged Edge song, Let's Get Married. So there's a line in that song which I always used to think was so dumb, like the dumbest line. Like it's a really romantic song, like meet me at the altar in your white dress. And the next line is, we ain't getting no younger, so we might as well do it. Like you're asking a girl to marry you, and then you're saying, "Yeah, we ain't getting younger. I might as well just do it."
Baby, let's get married.
And I feel like that's what you're saying, bro.
No.
You're like saying, like, yeah, we might as well do it, innit? And there's nothing else going on.
Well, do you know what? I personally, I don't think marriage should change anything in a relationship. It changes.
But it will, though.
The title of it.
Definitely
Yeah, I know
will.
It will. I'll be a lot.
Free unmarried guys talking about how marriage changes your life. But yeah, go on.
No, but
It
from
shouldn't-
friends
it
though,
shouldn't.
they've told us like it does change a lot. Your responsibilities change.
Of course.
Like your life changes. Your like the way just things are. It's not your girlfriend anymore. It's or your boyfriend.
Well, your whole thing up until that point, you kind of only worried about yourself, innit?
yeah,
Like, you know, when you go to bed at night, you're sleeping in your own bed, wake up in the morning, like your routine is basically yourself. And then when you're getting married, it's not just you anymore.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that bit. You know that.
What, sharing a bed? Or
Yeah, sharing the bed. Both. But sharing the bed is a hard part, bro. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I've never done it before. Only like when me and Satch have like gone and done a gig elsewhere, and we had to share a
Gone
bed.
down a what?
done a gig.
Oh, sorry.
What did you feel?
I didn't hear what you said. I was gone done a gig together.
Yeah, we've done a gig
Okay.
together. Oh, I've had to like share a bed like in a hotel or something with next man. But
Can you imagine, like, at least like we're in a generation now where you actually do know the person. Like, imagine like previous generations where,
but it still happens to this day though.
of course, yeah.
Like, you know, you see these people on like deal mill and that,
Yeah,
just
on the wedding day.
that's it, done. Now, not with me on the wedding day, but they'll be on deal mill for like a couple months. They've done it.
But how, like, imagine how much of a difference in your life that is. Like, one, you're literally living like a complete single life. We're just talking about sharing a bed. At least, like, you, if you're in a relationship with someone, you're talking to them, you're getting to know them, you're kind of learning a lot about them. In previous generations, and as we're saying, it still happens now. You wake up one day and bam, you're sharing a bed. You got to share everything with this person. You constantly, like, you know, your life is like, one day you wake up and your life is complete. That's going to be you, Sachin. So
I went like putting him off right now.
I'm too far in, bro.
Yeah, you see, there's no going back now.
I've convinced myself. I think that the day I proposed, I convinced myself that this is what I'm doing.
I personally feel like you did it time ago without knowing.
No, yeah, but I didn't think I accepted it until around that time.
but what was the what made you do that acceptance of, like, this is it?
Because you could have done that 3 years ago. Because
No, do you know what? I just woke up one day and I was like, alright, cool. Like Monday I woke up and I thought, cool, I'm just going to propose on Wednesday. It's kind of like, yeah, cool.
Bruv,
So like everything, so like everything else in your life, you're just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do this now.
Yeah. And so far, so good, bro. It's going alright.
what's going on, right?
So,
I thought he's doing other shit like on a Monday and just getting it done on Wednesday.
no. But like I had the ring pre-ordered for April, and then
I think the other thing with Sachin, yeah, is he doesn't like to talk about his emotions. So he kind of like, maybe you just kind of like, you know what I mean? You just kind of say, yeah, I decided to. He doesn't really want to talk about emotions. And men don't really talk about their emotions.
Yeah.
that's true.
So it's just like, yeah, I decided to get married. So yeah, that's it. But it's not like, I love this person so much. Yeah?
Men don't do that.
I think there's a part of that as well. Like, I mean, I do songs about this kind of shit all the time. So I feel like writing a song about it is easier than talking about it.
Let me ask you a question.
Alright.
Do you think you can be open with your partner, like vulnerable in that respect? Can you be vulnerable with your partner?
Sachin? I haven't got
We haven't got partners yet, but let's just say, like, how vulnerable can you be in this day and age?
I read somewhere that a man has, and when I say I read somewhere, I probably saw it on a TikTok or something. Yeah. When we all agree that that's what it means when you say I read somewhere. So basically, I read somewhere that a man, when he's in a relationship, like fully in a relationship, he sees his partner as something so like so much more than his friends. She's like the closest person to him, so she knows his deepest, darkest secrets, and he can only completely be himself, like vulnerable fully with that person. And I feel like I've been that person in relationships, and I feel like, I don't know, man, I feel like that kind of intensity for me, I think, is very much needed in a relationship. And when you feel you can be like that with someone, it kind of says something to your trust level and how deep your connection can be.
I agree. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but also there's a big generation that, going back to what we were talking about the marriage stuff, where it worked, where you didn't really know them, your parents kind of just chose it for you, and you got married like back in the day. And similarly now, there's a lot of people that don't talk about their emotions in front of their wives, girlfriends, and stuff like that, and it's worked. So
that's the thing, actually. Now you're saying that, a part of me now feels like that's probably not a good thing to do either. Like, there is certain parts of yourself that you have to, you can kind of compartmentalize. I don't think that's a good thing to do, but in certain situations it is good. But in like certain things that you'd be able to discuss with your friends, so you wouldn't necessarily discuss that with your wife, because there's certain things that I think subconsciously that she might find unattractive if you were too open or too vulnerable with your partner. A part of her might not actually like that in you, especially when we're talking about like masculine, feminine kind of energies. Like, sometimes there can be that kind of subconscious, like, I don't actually like this person being this vulnerable with me, because you might feel safe enough to do that, but they might not think that they can be safe with you because you're that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I know what you mean. Like, because there is that social construct, isn't it, of everybody kind of being that what society tells you to be like.
Mm.
But at the same time, I do feel like some women in general also get annoyed when you're not vulnerable around them.
Yeah.
They'll be like, for example, I don't really cry often, but I remember once, I don't have to speak it out, but one of our friends got really ill, and it was hard for me to tell people that, and I had to tell someone who was close to us, and I just started bawling down the phone. And one of my other friends was like, never seen you like cry before. And I was like, I can't remember the last time that actually was started bawling like that. Do you remember the last time that you had to that you had a situation like that?
I can't remember the last time I cried. Actually, I can remember the last time I cried. But before that, I can't remember. Like it's kind of like when it happens, it just kind of comes out of the blue. And when it's something really, really intense. What about you, Saj?
I couldn't remember. I think years ago, and if it is, it's like a split second thing, and then your brain kicks in. You're like, oh, I got to just deal with the problem rather than feel the problem.
It's interesting because when I've seen even like nieces and nephews or young, my youngers in my family, when the boys are crying, like an older will say, oh, don't cry, like boys don't cry. So it's kind of like embedded in us from like early on, like not to kind of cry, or to see crying as a not a good way of expressing yourself. So I don't know. And then the other thing is that I don't think men are, I mean, we have our moments, but I don't think we're really emotional. We're more like logical beings. Like a lot of men, especially men that I know, even us lot amongst friends, like we think quite logically. It's very rare that we're led by our emotions. So yeah, I mean, there are moments, like we're only human. We are going to cry. We're going to feel those emotions build up, and we're going to need to release that in some point, in some form. But yeah, I feel like logically, we if we're looking at a situation, we won't react emotionally. We'll try and react logically and think, okay, cool, this happened. How can I sort out the situation? And that's an issue that we have in relationships as well, where someone, like if your partner might want you to just listen to their problems, but you'll be trying to think of solutions and try and solve them. Whereas like I've been in situations where, a girl that I'm with will say, I just want you to listen and understand. I don't want you to try and fix a problem. Whereas we're trying to fix something.
Like that, but to me, that doesn't make sense. Because if someone's telling me a problem, instinctively it's like, cool, how do I help you with this? And it's not how do I just listen. And even as men, like if Kye was to tell me, oh, Sach, I've got this issue, immediately my thing is, alright, cool, how can I help you fix it? It's never, alright, cool, safe. Thanks for listening. Welcome to my TED.
That's why it'd be interesting if we had a woman here right now, because we could kind of discuss that.
I was speaking to the client I was with earlier, and we're having a similar conversation, like about gender roles and how women react to emotions, men are more logical, and their view on the whole thing was basically that women are more emotional, and when a woman's talking to a woman, sometimes they just want that person to feel the same way that they're feeling. Whereas in guys, it's like, cool, I want you to stop feeling sad and feel happy. Whereas women sometimes just want the other person they're talking to feel the same anger or sadness or whatever emotion they're feeling. They want someone to feel what they're feeling in that conversation.
I think you need both of those things. Like you want someone to understand, to empathize, and to hear you, and to completely understand where you're coming from. Maybe sometimes as men we ignore that part and we run straight to the solution part. So we probably do understand and listen and empathize, but instead of taking time and being able to express that, we're just like, yeah, okay, cool, I get it, but how do we fix this? Yeah. So I think that's probably the difference. But I do think that these are kind of all generalizations as well. It's not every relationship is like this. Not everyone is like this when you're in a partnership with someone. But I mean, going back to what you said earlier, Kye, about sometimes like being vulnerable in a relationship. Like, do you think that you should be vulnerable in a relationship, or do you think that you should kind of hold back a bit and be stoic, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, it's hard to say, man, because it depends on the other person as well. Because certain people that they really value emotions, like value the intimacy. There's friends that me and Satch will have, for example. We've got the same set of friends. I can chat to Satch about loads of things. Some of our other friends, we can't really have that conversation. They don't understand it the same way.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault that they don't understand it. And I say this to Satch sometimes, like, we expect people to think and feel the same way we do. And I always say to Satch, people don't value the same things the same way. They don't think the same way. And it's just how they are. And we are the way we are. So we can't, like, for example, if I'm busting my back to help someone clean their house, for example, some of our other friends won't do that. But it doesn't mean that they care about me any less. It's just, they just won't come and do that stuff. Yeah. So it's like, same with like relationships, for example. If you're too vulnerable, some people will be like, you know, this guy's a bit of a weakling, like, don't really want to be around this guy, can't even hold it down himself. Whereas some people will be like, he's very, very much so involved with me that he trusts me, that, you know, he can be like that around me, and he's relying on me because that's what I'm there for.
So what as a partner, like that totally makes sense. Like, I feel like you would need to find someone who, so you have that compatibility basically. So if you're someone who doesn't have an outlet to be able to speak to a lot of people, and you just want to trust one person who would be your partner, you'd want to find someone who values your ability to be able to express yourself.
I mean, some people don't feel comfortable expressing themselves as well. So if they don't want to, maybe being with someone who does is kind of like the magnet thing, where it's like opposites attract. So maybe that will help. Like, I don't know, there's loads of people that are with people that are nothing like them. So
you learn from that as well.
I never had any children in my house, so I never understood the importance of family time, because me and my brothers are all more or less the same age, not the same age, but difference in age isn't too big. We're all kind of off doing our own things. But now, since the kids were born, I'm starting to understand a lot more about family time. And I was saying to you earlier, like, if I'm not working, I'm doing stuff with them, or I'm spending time with them and stuff like that. So it's just like, I value things in different ways now that other people have taught me, and I feel like there's so much more for me to learn as well. But also the other side is like, if a girl wants you to be vulnerable, then do you just become vulnerable because they're telling you to? Do we need to?
I think you need to be able to feel safe enough to do that. Like, sometimes there are people that will just say, "Oh, you're not being vulnerable with me," or "You don't tell me anything," or "You don't share anything with me." But it's like, if you felt safe enough to do that, you would do that without having to be asked to do that, I think.
And also, I think whoever you choose to spend your life with, I don't think that person is the sole person that you can open up to. Like, I would open up to you in a different way that I'd open up to my mum. I'd open up to my fiance, that I'd open up to my brother. The things I would tell these people
it's different,
is because I understand how they think and how I think their opinion will help me get or process what I'm going through. Whereas if I told all of that information to one person, it would just be a mess.
Mutually
it would be, I think it would be a mess.
Is that a level of is that to do with your level of trust with different people, or just because you know their experiences or reactions or what they say would affect?
A mixture of all of that. Like, there are certain experiences that I feel like someone in Kye's position would understand a lot better than someone in my younger brother's position. Or someone maybe financially, let's just say, if there's someone financially better off than me, if it's a financial situation, they would have a bit more experience than you know, someone maybe younger who's at school. Or if it's to do with maybe family matters, my mum would be the go-to person over someone else.
100%.
I think it depends who it is, and certain matters I wouldn't want to share with my partner if it was something that may burden them, in terms of make them look at a person in a particular light, or make them feel a certain way towards a person who they don't have that particular feeling towards. So if there's someone I don't like, and I'm like, if I went to, oh, Kye's like this, Kye's like that, Kye's like this, unless I can trust her to make that judgment by herself, that Kye is a certain way, I wouldn't want to burden her with my view of Kye at that moment.
It's like how people have, like, they say, if you have an issue with your partner, don't say that to your family, because it will kind of taint their view of your partner, right? So if you've got an issue, you have to kind of sort that out between yourselves, or kind of censor that part of that conversation with those people, because it does affect like their judgment of those people.
I agree. I don't think that's anything to do with your vulnerability though. I feel like you can be vulnerable in different ways with different people, and I feel like if you're too vulnerable with one person, I think to an extent it can come across weak.
I feel like that's only with partners though, because I feel like I could be fully vulnerable with you two, and that wouldn't affect our relationships.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I suppose like if it kind of boils down to the roles that you have as well. Like if your role, if someone sees you in your partnership as a provider, as a protector, you know, as a kind of, you know, kind of archetypal man in a relationship, you might have moments of weakness, but they don't want to. Like, you know, if you feel like you have to be that person, and that's a role that you've taken on, and you're comfortable with that role, if you're being very, very, you know, open and vulnerable with this person, and maybe showing them a side of weakness that they possibly didn't know when they met you or were attracted to you, that could kind of have a detrimental effect on them. I think personally, like it could happen. Obviously, three guys discussing this, like a woman might be like, nah, I want my guy to be fully vulnerable, like that would make me feel closer to him. Like, you know, there could be a complete opposite view. That's kind of our judgment, maybe looking on the outside. But I do think some of these things are subconscious as well. People don't realize. They might see it and be like, I like that, but then subconsciously be like, okay, I'm not actually attracted to this person as much
Subconsciously, girls and males take that on and act upon it in a way which they don't understand. They can be like narcissistic.
They can throw it back in your face as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you could have an argument. They'd be like, yeah, is that what you was crying about? Do you know what I mean? You'd be like, what?
That's deep.
Imagine.
2023. Any
Secrets. It hasn't been long enough, bro.
any New Year's resolutions?
I don't really do resolutions anymore, bro.
Same. What about you, Sach?
I didn't do resolutions, but I did make a list of
Things you want to achieve.
I'd like to change about myself.
Like what?
Things-
Please enlighten us what you want to change about
what do you
yourself.
wanna change?
Because we've got a list of stuff we want you to change as
It's
well.
not my laptop, but you know, like just things about like my response to similar to what we were saying. Like if someone at home was coming to me with a problem, be a little bit more empathetic as to how they're feeling, not necessarily what I think is the best way to handle it, or you know, carving out more time for people I care about. So rather than always being busy, even if it's like dedicate once a month to chill with a set group of people and keep putting that date in every month, like that's something I want to do ongoing forever, not just for this year.
So you know where you could do that?
Here.
No.
This
So-
podcast.
No. So basically, you know when you're charging your car,
Yeah.
use that time you take to charge your car to give it to other people.
So what? 3 times a day then?
3 times a day.
You
So
can-
basically,
You
Sach
get
has
3
got
times
an
a day,
electric
Sach.
car. For all the listeners and the viewers, Sach has got an electric car. Every time I'm calling him, he's like, I've got to charge my car because the car runs like it's on an iPhone 4S battery. So,
No, it's a temporary situation. Temporary. From next month, it won't be an issue. Once I got a charger installed.
We got to test this next month.
yeah, we'll see it.
I won't have this issue.
Yeah.
I can come Luton and back, no charge.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. Well, this remains to be seen.
Alright.
At the moment, it's
So February, we'll do the next time we record. Let's record in Luton.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Alright.
But what? Just so you can show that how good the charge is.
Just
Good.
to prove the theory.
All right, cool. So the some mad stuff happened in 2022. 2022 was a weird year though.
I feel like it was the most normalist year after the couple of weird
COVID
years.
years,
It's still a weird
yeah.
year, but it was the normalist.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that a word?
Normal, yeah.
Is the-
yeah, I think
It's
it
the
is.
most normalist
I think
after
I think normalist is a word.
after kind of 2020.
I think it's
2020.
negative though. Normalist.
Yeah, I mean 20. Yeah, okay. But in what way was it a crazy year then?
But just mad shit happened. Like, I was looking at the iconic moments of 2022 on TikTok. Yeah, I realized bare shit happened. So I remember the first one that kept coming on every single video was Will Smith flipping Chris
Oh,
Rock.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Bro, that's kind of mad, you know.
How did you actually feel though when that happened? Like watching it.
But at first I was shocked. I was like, first I thought it was a joke because they're both jokers.
I felt really uncomfortable watching
Yeah,
that.
yeah. After realizing it, and I saw Chris Rock's face,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, he dealt with that really well.
It's like watching like someone like Will Smith, like someone that you thought was not even you thought like how like we grew up with the Fresh
Yeah,
Prince and all that
yeah.
kind of stuff. It's like watching someone like that like turn into a villain in front of your eyes, and you're like, I don't know, man. I just felt so uncomfortable like just watching it. Like it's like it felt like someone bullying someone. Like, you know,
Yeah.
man just walked on stage and just slapped the shit out of him and then just walked off. Like,
That was wild though. Like,
did he deserve it?
who, Chris Rock?
Mm.
Nah, because they all do that. He knew what he was getting himself into.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably done that with Bearman and didn't expect that I still don't understand that.
I
joke.
think there's a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes.
Well, she was in another entanglements.
No, possibly, but I do think that because Chris Rock, like, obviously, like, they showed clips of him having digs at her in it, but previously, like, before. So I feel like, you know, he might have just stepped to him at one point and said, "Listen, bruv, don't say nothing about my missus."
Maybe.
And then man was like,
"Could you get somebody? I'm
tired of this shit, man. Too tired."
That was great, by the way. But yeah, and another thing that happened was bloody entanglements. That was wild.
Entanglements is wild, Satch. When you get married,
don't have no entanglement.
Don't get involved in no entanglement. I thought it was an entanglement a Disney film as well.
Yeah.
Was it a Disney film?
No, Tangled. Sorry. No, I think no. Entangled.
No, Entangled. I'm getting confused. I'm getting confused. Enchanted and Tangled.
Bro, he just took out all of the innocence in that video.
Entangled. No, it wasn't. Yeah.
That's just. How could you go on the camera and say that though? That's the maddest thing. How could you go on camera, put it on TV or wherever it was, and tell people you were smashing next man while you're married to your husband?
And he's sitting opposite the table, and you're telling him in front of the whole world.
That's the first time he's heard it, yeah?
I don't think it's the first time.
He's definitely. Before. But he was probably there in the room while she was doing it because he was moving mad that day. It's like
I think it's really like
man became a meme. You see his face crying. Just became a meme.
Who's the couple goals now for like people that have been together for a while now? Because Will, you know what I mean? They say Will and Jada. They say this, like, you know, who is it now?
The ones that make the most money in it, Amir Khan and
There you go. They're still together though. At least
they're still together. But obviously Kanye and Kim split up. I know Cristiano Ronaldo, his missus. They seem like they got something decent going on there.
Okay, for now.
No, but they've been together for years, bro.
Is it?
Yeah, and they got like bare kids together, and she's got kids with next man. I think he's got kids with next woman as well.
So was that entanglements or was that before?
I don't have no idea, but
okay,
like yeah. I think they're making something work there, but yeah. I mean, when you're getting paid like millies, it doesn't really matter.
I think that helps a lot, doesn't it?
Man,
like it kind of greases the palm. No, I don't know what I'm trying to say, bro.
It just makes life easier.
It kind of helps. You know, it helps you get over the extra marital situations.
And the other thing that happened in 2022 was. Something that I saw anyway was Molly May saying we all got the same 24 hours in a day. You just gotta get up and fucking do it.
Oh yeah. I saw this. What is she? She's some. Yeah,
so
who's
she
she
in
again?
Love Island.
Love Island. Okay.
So she's with Tommy Fury, who's Tyson Fury's brother.
Okay.
She went on Steve Bartlett's podcast because apparently she's achieved something at Pretty Little Thing, I think it is.
Okay.
So she's done she works for them. Or works with them, one of the two, and she's done really good. So that's why he brought her on there to talk about her journey. But her thing was to turn around and say, oh, you know, I've got 24 hours in a day. Everyone's got the same 24 hours. You can make it happen, kind of thing. But the way she said it was like kind of writing off people who have issues and have other responsibilities.
Do you think that that's people being too sensitive?
I don't know, man.
Or do you think it's because it's coming from her?
I think it's because it's coming from her because she has a silver spoon.
Yeah.
So if you've got a dad that pays for everything, or you've got parents that pay for everything, or you've had Love Island investments, then you've had literally like you're 20 steps ahead of everyone. Like they could work for those same 24 hours, like, and still not get to where your starting point was. It might take them like 20, 30 years. They still could not even get to that point. I mean, that's the. I feel like I was having this conversation with a footballer on one of the other podcasts that's going to be coming out soon. But I was like, do you need to have an Instagram following and stuff? Because obviously people buy footballers now, as in clubs, based on how much money they can bring to the club. So like Cristiano Ronaldo's now moved to this Arab team. Their Instagram went up to 6 million just because he joined them.
Yeah.
So instantly people are now going to start watching Arab football who are fans of Cristiano Ronaldo. So I asked him, is it talent still a thing in football, or do you just need to have the look? Do you need to look like Jude Bellingham? Do you need to look like David Beckham or whatever it is? Like, do you need to look a certain way? He was like, no, there's an element of it, but no, there's you have to have talent. When I look at artists like singing, rapping, presenters, bro, all of them are Instagram people nowadays. They're not, a lot of them, some of them
even
are,
Instagram, TikTok, bro.
Yeah, TikTok as well. Like a lot
Yeah.
of them just jump on that and make their careers and go into big places of having a following or having a viral video and stuff like that. Then people will argue with me and say someone like Michael Dapper, who brought out that song, Man's Not Hot, time ago, he done like wonders with that. That went viral all over the world. So it's like, but I feel like there's a level of people understanding that there's talent, then there's people that work for it, and there's people who just get it.
But
So that's why people get upset over it.
just to your point about like Michael Dapper song, like there's always been that though. It's just that I think now people are kind of more it's more self-made. Like if you look at something like like a silly kind of parody song like Mr. Blobby for example, like growing up Mr. Blobby was like number one. I think it was like a Christmas number. That's before your time, right? Mr. Blobby, you know Mr.
He's talking about you, bro.
Mr. Blobby was like before your time, but that was like a Christmas number one. You always used to have these stupid silly songs, like one hit wonder kind of songs that were just silly songs that just kind of they captured the zeitgeist of
But
the
that was
time.
like every so often, right? Back in them days, it wasn't like often. That Christmas number one is once in a while, right?
But even there was always like silly songs though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think the Teletubbies anthem came out as a song as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
You know, like these silly little things that just kind of capture the zeitgeist. So I feel like that was just kind of a moment that kind of captured everyone. But obviously because of the internet and social media now, it was able to kind of go worldwide and be viral like to a insane extent. But there's always been that kind of stuff that happens. Like it just happens to be, I think, more obvious to people now. It's not as manufactured, so it's more organic. But for some reason, we all kind of think things are just kind of happening now, not realizing that a lot of stuff is just circles, it's patterns of behavior which continues every 10, 20 years. Like, look at fashion now. That's what...
Even this, bro. No one wears this color back in the day. Now everyone's wearing these weird colors.
Bro, baggy jeans. Like, when I was at college, I used to wear these baggy jeans. Now everyone's wearing these baggy jeans and chunky trainers. That was what we were wearing in college days.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
And then, you know...
Fashion's done a full 360 now.
Yeah, fully. Like, it's not even 360. It's every, like, 20 years. There's kind of, like, a resurgence. So, like, 90s, like, late 90s, early 2000s, when I was at college... or even like late 90s actually when I was in school, people started wearing platforms and like flared like trousers and stuff, and they were like, oh, that's a fashion from the 70s. So I remember our parents and older people were saying, oh, that's the fashion from the 70s. That was 20 years before. Now it's like, you know, 20 years later and it's the fashion from the early 2000s. So it's like, these are just like cycles of things that kind of no idea is original. Everything's just kind of recycled and comes back around again.
Yeah, it's true.
So just save everything that you're wearing now, and in 20 years, it'll be back. It'll be back.
Yeah, give it to some kids. They'll be able to wear it. I mean, if you do have any decent branded stuff, though, like Alpha Industries or Adidas or something like that, that would definitely be worth something in the future.
I got some Evisu jeans.
Oh yeah,
sitting in
I saw someone wearing some True Religion jeans the other day. Remember those ones? They were butters, but people used to buy them.
True Religion. They haven't really gone though. But they used to. Did you see the True Religion ones that on the back pocket?
That's what I saw today.
Yeah, those ones.
The stitch ones, the white stitch on the that look like a shoehorn. That's what I had.
Yeah.
But then I remember I started seeing it in Sports Direct. I was like, is this what I'm dying for in them days? But I saw someone wearing the train the other day. I was like, yeah, these people still wearing these.
All these brands come back, man. They're like, I remember Gola.
Yeah.
Is Gola cool now?
No, not yet, bro.
No.
I don't think it was cool then either.
It was cool for a little while, nah? Like for a little point in time, about 5 years ago, no?
No, I don't think so. 5 years ago? Definitely not 5 years ago. But I don't think 15 years ago it was cool even back then. I think that was the equivalent of like Umbro back then.
Yeah.
So for us it might have been
But
cool.
if you go to a vintage store now, Umbro top will be like 40 quid, bro.
But same with High Tech.
High Tech for one, bro.
High Tech is going up now. High Tech is up.
I used to get cussed for wearing. I had High Tech trainers when I was younger, and I used to get cussed for wearing High Tech.
What's you had High Tech trainers? What's the maddest crap that you had when younger?
Bro, I just remember I had these Kye Swiss white ones with the colour wheel.
No, that's alright. Kye Swiss was a big brand back then.
You mean like just
Yeah.
the weirdest
Bro, I had you didn't ready for the ones that I had. My bless my parents, yeah. They didn't have money back then because my parents got married really young. So they had like big gap between me and my younger brothers, like 7 years. So they literally like had no peas back then. I remember I had Donne trainers, bro.
Donne. I used to have Donne socks, bro.
Yeah.
That was Sport and Soccer. That was their brand, innit? Sport and Soccer.
It must have been.
Yeah.
But
I still got a couple pairs in my cupboard.
what, Donne?
Donne socks, yeah, thick ones.
No, you're moving mad now, bro.
They must be about 20 years old.
Yeah. He must be saving them to resell them.
They don't even make Donne no more.
Do they not?
I don't know.
They must not do. I ain't seen it in years.
I don't know. Back when Sports Direct was Sport and Soccer, bro.
Yes.
Sports soccer, yeah. JJB.
trainers.
What about JJB?
JJB.
Oh, do you remember Brain Lickers? What about do you remember Brain Lickers?
No. We're completely different generation, bro.
You don't know Brain Lickers?
We're on the completely.
I just looked at his face when you said
You're like
brain.
here, bro. I'm like way over here. Our
Bruv,
generations are
No,
completely
Brain Lickers has been around forever, bro.
I don't
You
know
just-
that one.
No, because you know what it is? We didn't have the money for Brain Lickers in those days. That's why we didn't need it. But I know because I see the white kids just licking that thing off. I said that. So Rax, this is what it was. It's like it's probably the most disgusting. No, so it's got like you said, like a golf ball at the top,
Okay.
and at the bottom is some juice. So when you shake it, yeah, the flavor of that juice goes on this
Okay.
sherbet kind of thing,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you lick it.
Okay. You man are moving mad. You man are
So
moving
you
mad.
just see people.
And then at the end, they used to like stamp on it, and the ball would just go flying.
What's this ball made out of?
Not plastic.
No.
It's a plastic
Is it a plastic ball? I thought it was like sherbet or something. I never had it because I want to be licking off things down the road. It's a bit mad, bro.
Plastic.
I didn't have money for that in them days anyway. I was more of a Freddo kind of guy.
Or the inflation.
Freddo.
Aye,
How much are they now?
Freddo's
£5.
Nah,
Are they £5
what's
now?
the cheapest you remember Freddo to be?
5p.
Yeah, 5p.
Alright, go online and see if you can find a legit picture of Freddo at 5p. I can't find one. I was doing this the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
but
just
then-
find it from 10p.
But they might not have. They might not have had it on the thing
Oh,
then.
this is blank.
Yeah, it might have just been there, and then the price was 5p. It might not have been written on the thing.
I think the thing that when it started raining, it was in its 10p.
Yeah, it might have been that.
Makes sense.
But now it's like a dive. So yeah.
My brain's got time trying to figure it out.
No, now Freddo and Chomp and that are p. Remember Chomp?
Chomp used to be
Chomp,
10p.
yeah, Chomp is
And
like.
refreshers.
Refreshers.
Yeah, refreshers
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
do my
yeah,
teeth
yeah.
in though, man.
Yeah, refreshers.
Refreshers are a bad one. I miss those days. You know those days of no worries, no responsibilities. Come home from school, get beats because you come home late. Like-
What I remember is how much time there was then. Like I felt like there was so much more time then.
yeah.
Like you'd wake up, you go to school, come home, and then you still had like bare time before like it got dark, or even like coming home at 3:30, and like my parents didn't come home till later because they were at work, so we used to have like 2-3 hours just at home, like by ourselves, me and my brothers. And I should just think, like now 2-3 hours goes like that.
Yeah, it's true.
Then it was like we got bare time. Like I
We
don't know what
we live in a
It's
different
like
era
woke up
though.
Earlier, innit? Think about it. Like you were up and ready to go to school at like 7:30.
Nah,
I don't
my
know.
school was right next to my house.
Yeah, I don't know about you, bro. I've never been an early morning guy though.
8 o'clock, I had to be out.
Are you a morning guy? Yeah, I know you get up quite early nowadays.
Now I've
Yeah.
had different phases, but now I am. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a morning guy. I'm not a morning guy though. I am now because of my new routine that I've been doing for. Nah, no way. Like my dad's up in the morning, out ready, no matter what time he goes. You're a bit like that as well. Like you're up ready, no matter what time you've slept. Whereas me, bro, if I can sleep till midday, I'll do it.
But is that it's because your routine's been like that for such a long time? Obviously, you're DJing late
Yeah,
at night,
yeah.
bro. So you're getting home at super late times.
Yeah,
So-
like if I get home like 3 a.m, so I've just been used to that for years. But now, whereas I'm doing a little more corporate work, I have to go to meetings at like 9 o'clock in Central. It's like having to get up is now a normal. Like, I still get up on Saturdays early. I've got a gig to do on a Saturday, so I'm just like, I don't know, sleep till midday. But I feel like I'm so productive in the evening. Even now, if I get up earlier, if I'm doing stuff, I could do like, I remember, what did we do? We did I worked in the day. We did a show in the evening, doing a podcast straight after.
Oh wow.
So it's like, I know I can bang out work in the evening, but in the daytime, it's a bit.
I used to be like that. Now it's completely opposite. Like even if I've finished late, like I had a studio session a couple of days ago, and I got home at like 3 in the morning, I think. But I was up at 7. Like I can't not be up at like 7 or 8. Like that's my normal waking up time, and I get a lot more done. Like when it hits the afternoon, evening time, I'm clocked out. Like I can't really. My brain kind of stops working, man. Like I'm on that whole different schedule now. So I feel like my mornings and my daytimes are a lot more productive. I can get a lot more shit done. As human beings, generally, apparently, like from what I've been reading, aka seeing on TikTok, is that you're as human beings, like our body like clock and cycle goes with the sun, basically.
Okay.
So when the sun rises, it's good to be awake. When the sun sets, that's a good time to kind of slow down and stop and
in the
sleep.
winter, you just knock out 5 p.m.
Well, apparently all other mammals they hibernate in the winter, like or they're when it gets darker quicker, they're doing a lot more. And obviously as human beings, we try and have the same levels of productivity that we have at any other season, and maybe that's not nature's way of doing things. Yeah, like, you know, even like not getting sunlight causes all sorts of issues in the body. Like, and
I used to have eczema and everything everywhere. The minute I started taking vitamin D, it almost
vitamin D, number one supplement to anyone listening. If you're not taking vitamin D during the winter, you are gonna have problems. Always take vitamin D during the winter months.
Kye takes D always.
Even during the summer months. If you're ethnic minority, are we allowed? Is that the new word? Are you allowed to say that word? Or if you're melanin, if you have a lot of melanin in your skin, or even levels of any type of level of melanin in your skin, please take vitamin D.
That was so politically correct.
I don't know what the word is, bro.
All right, so let's be normal about it. Yeah. I'll give it a scenario. So maybe about a year ago, we did a podcast with Rax, and I had an issue. Let's just say an issue. Let's not say what it is. But you know why? I don't want people to give me nazar about it, man.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I'd rather just
They don't
hold
need
it.
to know.
They need to know. But I had an issue, right? I didn't have herpes or anything like that. It's not that deep.
It wasn't an
but
STD.
No, it wasn't anything like that. But Rax looked. So I went to bare doctors about this. They were like, "Nah, nothing can be done. It's too minor. We're not going to do nothing about it." Rax was telling me about all of this stuff that he takes, legal stuff that he takes, and he was like, "Try vitamin D." So all these pricks that have been going to doctor school for about 100 years look bare old. Their parents have paid them peas to do everything. A rapper from Luton told me to take vitamin D. That sorted it. I've had this problem. I had that problem for over 10 years.
Wow.
And it took you after one podcast to diagnose me.
Bro, you know what's mad? Like, I'm really into like herbal things and vitamins and all this kind of stuff, like natural things, all this kind of stuff. And I've learned so much about it. Like, I take such an interest in it that most problems that people have is some sort of deficiency that they're not getting. And especially in like when we're in the West, in these countries, like these aren't native to us. Like these countries, like even I remember going to this Chinese medicine doctor, and she was telling me what did she do? She did like what's it called? You know when the needle's in your back? What's it called again?
Acupuncture.
Yeah. She was doing acupuncture on me, and we were just talking, and she said, she goes, when you get older, she goes, I recommend anyone who's like Asian or of melanated skin. She goes, I recommend them to move to a hotter country when they get older, because she's like, our bodies aren't designed to be in the cold like this. So, you know, aches and pains and issues and all this kind of stuff. A lot of that is to do with this climate is not kind of designed for us, for our bodies, because our ancestors didn't grow up around this stuff. They were in hot weather, in hot climates. And it's interesting because when you look at our older generations back home, they're older, but they're all more active, and they're kind of like, when I look at like the olders in my family and extended family, they're like still walking around at certain ages. They're still, you know, quite active and quite independent back home. Whereas when they're in these Western countries or colder climates, they've got a lot of aches and pains, or they're struggling kind of just regularly on a day to day. This is all anecdotal, and like I say, I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor. But that's like, you know, when people get shot here, yeah, like a lot of people get stabbed and shot in London, right?
Where are you going with this, bro?
This was so off.
It's not. Wait, a lot of people get stabbed and shot in London,
Okay.
yeah, and they die. Rest in peace to whoever's been shot and stabbed. But you know, bare people get shot and stabbed back home, man. A lot of them live.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're doing it wrong over there, but I just
Maybe
feel
it's
like
NHS, bro.
I don't know what it is, but that man get shot in the leg and the arms and all sorts, and they live.
But I was watching another podcast. I can't remember the guy's name.
I think that's because of the climate, by the way. That's what I'm saying. It must be because of that or something.
It
might be.
I don't know what it is, but I think it's just the way we're conditioned. Is maybe it's the NHS. You never know.
Yeah, on this podcast, a lot of people were.
Sorry, the NHS is great, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
one
Big
of
up
the best
everyone in
things.
the
Big up to
NHS.
NHS.
I've been
amazing.
Yeah.
Is that because they paid you? Yeah?
No, they did pay me, but
No,
it's not
on a
about
legit,
that.
bro. Like
I'm grateful for the NHS, man.
fully.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a few times where you just
The NHS are like some teachers, you know, like they fully care about the people. That's why they're doing their job. It's not for the money, and they don't get them. They don't get any thanks for it.
You know, after you've had something, like I had the coronavirus, and then I went to. Do people even say that the full word anymore?
No, it's called it COVID.
I had COVID, yeah, basically. And when I went to A&E and bruv, I was just so grateful, man. Like the way they spoke to me and looked after me, I was just like so grateful, man. So yeah.
What's
Big
your
up the
thoughts on
NHS.
the nurses and that strike?
Wait. Before we get into that, finish what you were gonna say before. You were watching this podcast.
Oh yeah. The guy was basically saying a lot of health issues are down to your gut and what you eat. So
I saw this. Yeah.
I think it was on Stephen's podcast.
I don't think it was Stephen's podcast, but basically it was someone's that's shot the same way.
Yeah.
But he was saying, yeah.
So
if
let me give you lot a little tip, yeah.
Yeah.
So on gut health, yeah.
So just to summarize what you said though,
Go on.
you got a good healthy gut, then you will basically be happy as well as be physically good as well.
Yeah.
So for you
There's
to
a
not
mind and gut
and gut,
connection.
that's what he said
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
So a little tip for you guys and for anyone listening. Around wherever you are, you will have some sort of like Polish supermarket or Romanian supermarket or something like that. There's a thing called kefir, Kefir.
Oh, the yogurt you said.
Yeah, it's like a yogurt kind of lassi kind of drink, basically. Very, very, very good for your gut health. Even people that have problems having dairy or the lactose intolerant or whatever, they should be able to drink kefir without any problems. You can get it from Sainsbury's and the other places as well. I prefer getting it from the Polish shops. Sometimes it's cheaper, and also because it's the actual real deal. The ones in Sainsbury's and Tesco's and stuff, they have like cherry flavor, and they have like it has like sugars and they have sort of juices and stuff in it. Like you really want to avoid sugar basically as much as you can. But kefir, take it. Very, very good for your gut health. And yeah, that's my like thing. Like people take probiotics, which are good as well, and all this kind of stuff.
Kimchi and that sort of stuff.
All that stuff's really good. But when they do these studies, from what I've read, aka from what I've read, is kefir is one of the best ones that get the probiotics right in your gut. Because
you told me to take that as well, probiotics. I remember.
Like, because a lot of stuff that you take, your stomach acid will kill it. It won't actually get to your gut. But when they've done these studies, the stuff from kefir, yogurt as well. Have you had Bulgarian yogurt? If people follow me on Snapchat, they've probably seen it. I found it in the Bulgarian yogurt is the best type of yogurt. Is it Bulgarian? Yeah, Bulgarian yogurt. Okay. It has types of probiotic which is not in all yogurts. It's really, really good for you. If you can find that, have that as well.
But I don't know what your cupboard or your fridge looks like. Because he comes out with some mad stuff sometimes. I'm gonna video it.
The whole podcast should be just going through his kitchen and just seeing what's there.
I just finished some kimchi today, actually.
But Rax is such a deep kind of guy. It makes me feel baseless. Like, bro, I'll just eat chicken and chips, man. I'm done. Like, I'm just so simple. Whereas Rax looks at everything so deep and just assesses things.
There's a balance. You got to have a balance. Like, I'm not extreme. Like, I know all these things, but I still know, like, you can't always do that. But this is more for people when you have problems and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
It's true. But I still feel like you take like the best things that are good for you in life and try and adopt that, which is really good. Because me and Sachin will be like, that's kind of long.
Yeah, it's a bit long.
It is hard work, like telling other people to do it, because no one listens.
No, I listen to the vitamin D thing.
Yeah. But that's why it's like these little things, like they're definitely worthwhile, especially if you have like issues as well. Sometimes people they'll have all these issues, and like you're saying, the doctors will just be like, oh, there's nothing we can do. So then you're like, what do I do? There's nothing.
They tried to charge me like 3 bags to do that. They were like, we're gonna like do it like surgery kind of thing.
Oh.
To just sort that one little thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I had to go to a private doctor. They charged me like £500 to like get an assessment. And they're like, yeah, we'll charge you 3 bags. I was like, cool. But I was like, they were like, you have to do it in the winter. So that gave me that. So I saw you, I think, in the summer.
Yeah.
So you saved me 3 bags.
You might as well just give me the 3 bags.
Yeah.
So you're saying I earned 3 bags?
No, but they try to sting me, bro.
But the thing is,
and that probably wouldn't even worked.
Some things with medicine is like in Western medicine, they deal with the symptoms of a problem and not the root cause of a problem. So if you're saying I'm sneezing, they'll be like, here, this will stop you sneezing. They won't say, okay, why are you sneezing? Oh, you're sneezing because you've got this issue, you've got that issue. Whereas Eastern medicine, be that Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, or whatever it is, they look at the root cause of the problem, and also they look at your whole body. So someone
have you ever done that full body check thing?
Which for I haven't done any full body.
Rax probably knows about some mad body checks. I'll just talk about the normal one that people say they get a full body scan and that. Yeah. No, you never done it.
But it's interesting. Like there was
I'm scared, to be honest.
There's a physiotherapist that I see as well. Big up Chanel. I see him. He'll like, I might have an issue over here on my back, on my like right shoulder, and he'll be like, "Oh, it's because your
Yeah.
left hip is, there's something on your left hip here, and it's causing your body to cause an imbalance." The same way is if you've got a symptom of something, like I said, sneezing, it might be to do with something completely different. It might be your gut, it might be this, it might be that. So there's you have to look at the body as a whole. Like when I've read about Eastern medicine and Ayurveda and stuff, they always look at I'm no expert either. This is just something that I take a keen interest in. So I try to read about it. You got to study for like years and years to become expert in this thing.
So what's the deal with those mushroom teas that are like out and about?
So there's different types of mushrooms. There's chaga, reishi, cordyceps.
Trust him to know this
Lion's
shit.
mane, lion's mane, turkey's tail. So there's a bunch of different like mushrooms basically. These are all legal mushrooms.
Yeah.
And
Legal.
Legal, yeah.
Yeah, like you can eat them.
Yeah, they're legal mushrooms. So they're legal mushroom supplements. They're really good. It's funny that you say that because I've been taking this mushroom complex for the past maybe month or so. And to be honest, what it does is they're good for your health generally, but a lot of people take them for focus, for your mind, for energy. Reishi is really good for relaxation, for sleep and stuff.
I'll be honest, bro. Your body must be fucking confused as shit because you just do mad shit, bro. Man told me he's doing intermittent fasting.
Yeah, but these are normal things.
But you're probably taking those shiitake mushrooms and then not doing intermittent fasting.
Nah. These are normal things. What's bad is what's not normal is when you're having like green color Fanta.
Yeah,
That's true.
And orange coloured.
But do you ever look at Coke and think, "Bruh, this is black stuff I'm putting in my body"?
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Like,
what I look at it.
you're saying like this is a mushroom, bro. That's made from some next stuff.
No, I'm not saying you
chemicals.
can't have it, but what I'm saying is you personally,
No.
you're taking this, taking that, and it's
Yeah,
just
but
like
I like to
your body doesn't know whether to sleep or be awake.
No. You can take these things. Your body is designed to absorb these things.
You got anything for backaches?
Backache.
That would help us a lot, bro.
Yoga.
Why you got backache, eh?
Bro, I've had backache for years.
Yoga.
I think it's from the years of rigging. I don't rig anymore. Sachin now has a team that rigs for us. He's
Yoga. I tell you what, you can take for
got that.
backache actually. Magnesium and do a bath in like Epsom salts.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Really, really good for your muscles when they're
But
aching.
Also, stretching.
I'm
I
too
don't
lazy,
do that.
man.
Yoga.
Bro, I did it the other day, yeah? For like 20 minutes.
It's
20
hard
minutes
though.
of
It's like a workout.
Bro, honestly, I felt like I grew. Like, I felt like I was taller.
Mm.
Because my back was like stretched.
Have you were you talking about the mushrooms? Have you taken them? Have you tried them? Any of the
Nah.
mushroom teas?
I've been hearing good things about them.
You can take them as supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lion's mane's a good one. That's one I've been taking.
Lion's mane.
Lion's mane is the
What is
main
that? As
one.
in, all right, cool.
It's as in what-
Lion's mane, just munching it. I would have put it past
you know the mushroom actually apparently looks like that, so that's why they call it lion's mane.
I thought you was actually eating lion's
Nah,
mane.
Come on, G.
What do you mean? Man goes, come on, G. Like he's not taking some mad shit anyway.
You know what? I know people that are microdosing on like the psychedelic mushroom.
Yeah.
But they've so far stopped smoking.
Yep.
People have, better sleep, but more creative, wake up refreshed in the morning. All these benefits, and it just makes you think like, if you're getting those similar kind of benefits out of the legal stuff, then
Well,
why is it like in the Western world, from what I understand, mushrooms have only now have become more wide and popular. Like
now
like 10 years ago, you wouldn't find it.
Yeah, well, the medicinal purposes of these mushrooms have been studied, and there's been like these papers, and people have done these studies to be able to find these to find the benefits of taking these mushrooms. But the psychedelic stuff, the microdosing, that's really interesting as well, because there's been a lot of studies done on that, and I feel like that's a lot more of a natural kind of thing to take, other than these the way that people try like antidepressants and stuff like that have a lot of crazy kind of side effects and all these other issues that they cause people, imbalances in their body, whereas the mushroom stuff is like a natural thing. But it needs to be, I feel like the microdosing is very kind of I don't know how they figure it out, like how to take what. Like there's no standardized
There's no rule.
there's no standardized dose or whatever. I don't know how they do that.
You could just be tripping and it.
Rax is definitely tripping off the stuff he's taking 100%.
It makes me concentrate, man.
You lot are mad,
We'll talk
bro.
about that next time,
Yeah.
Watch it.
Okay.
But any goals for this year?
I don't think so.
What about you, Sach?
Like specific goals.
Yeah.
Just going with the flow, man. This year, I think.
Yeah.
In the past, I've set targets that have either been too high or too low for what actually happens, and I end up feeling any type of extreme way about it. Like either disappointed that I didn't hit what I expected of myself, or I feel like, oh, why did I set the bar so low? I could have done more.
Yeah, no, I've set some goals that I want to try and do, but kind of like what you're saying, kind of giving myself a coping mechanism if it doesn't happen. But like, I really want to do something on TV.
Okay.
I feel like I could do something on TV.
Definitely.
Whether it be talking or whether I don't even want like a main thing. I just want to feature on something to show what I can do. So it doesn't have to be like a presenting thing. It could be like me just going on Good Morning Britain and chatting to
It's going to happen, man. January, look, you said it now. You're going to speak into
you know
existence.
What? It's weird, man. Like, opportunities will arise from nowhere. I know you're not cussing me for charging my car, but yesterday, imagine I parked up in some farm on Maidstone at some petrol station. Put my car on charge for like half an hour just so I can get around today. And as soon as I got out of my car, some guy walked at the petrol station and starts chatting to me. And then from
He's in a dogging spot.
it was a Shell petrol station, guys. And
Go on.
And then, we were just chatting about like cars and electricity. And
That's how it always starts.
You ever watch Pulp Fiction?
What?
You ever watch Pulp
I
Fiction?
watched half and I fell asleep.
All right, cool. Go carry on. We'll talk about that after. Go on, carry on.
But then he was just telling me more about like, he runs a media company, blah blah blah, and then just this contact that may or may not be something, but it just came out of nothing. So I feel like if you're working in the right mindset to attract opportunities, TV.
Bro, they say it, innit? They say if you're looking for a red car, you'll see a red car. If you're looking for opportunities, you'll see opportunities. They'll present themselves. Have you ever done a vision board?
Yeah.
Have you done a vision
No,
board?
I want to do one though.
You want to catch jokes? You know who was on my vision board one time?
Who?
You told me
Rax.
this. You told me this actually. I remember.
Bro, I had like
But I've never actively tried to do like a proper vision board, and I think I'm gonna do it this year.
Yeah, same.
I might join you. Maybe we should all give it a
Maybe
go.
we should.
But do you know what I think now something I do that's different to back then? When I I try to as much as I remember. When I wake up, think about what I want to just attain in that day, like every morning. And before I go to bed, I think about all the stuff I was grateful for in the last.
That's really good. That's really
and
good.
So starting my day with like optimism and then like being grateful every day.
That's
just
good.
Try and,
Well, I know there's a saying, right? And I think me and you spoke about this once, right? So it's like, if you, there's an Islamic saying that if, let's say, for example, I'm jealous of Rax because you've achieved something, right? Because sometimes we feel a bit upset that we can't, sometimes not jealousy, sometimes upset, like, Rax has got a really nice car, so I really want that car. But, that can sometimes come off as negative jealousy, even though you don't want bad for that person.
Yeah.
So what people say is Islamic saying that those kind of things are devil whispering in your ear. So what you should do is exert positive energy and say, I'm very happy for Rax, or I'm very grateful that Rax has this thing. So if you exert that energy, what it does is the devil thinks, oh, this the wasa wasa I'm talking in his ear isn't working, so I'll leave him alone.
have you seen this?
No,
There's a
I've seen 4 Lions. That's what I was the wasa wasa comes from.
It's interesting, like, when you say Islamically about the devil and this and that. There's a book by Napoleon Hill called Outwitting the Devil, and it was like, so you know who Napoleon Hill is?
No, I know Napoleon is.
So Napoleon Hill, you probably heard of the book Think and Grow Rich.
With the 3 color ice creams.
That's Neapolitan ice cream.
Is that not neat?
There's brandy called Napoleon.
This guy, huh?
There's brandy called Napoleon.
I don't know, bro.
And there's a French guy who obviously ducks their man.
Napoleon. Yeah. So
Napoleon?
Napoleon Hill wrote a book, very famous book, called Think and Grow Rich. So a lot of these successful people that you see, they will say, the book's really good. It's a very good read. There's a whole thing that he was, it's come out now that he was actually fake, like the whole, because what his story was he was a intern for Carnegie, I think is the guy's name, who was like a industrialist in America, and he was super successful, very rich, like one of the very first like rich industrialists that got super successful in America. So Napoleon Hill met him and said, I want to work with you, and he was his intern or something, and he tasked him with a job and said, look, you're going to visit all of these other industrialists or successful people, rich people, and you're going to interview all of them, and then I want you to put together something which is what do they all have in common, and how do they become rich, basically. And the book's called Think and Grow Rich. It's a really, really interesting book. They've kind of said now that he was a plant, like that wasn't true. That's not how he did it, or, you know, he was a fraud or something, or whatever. Anyway, the book that I'm talking about is called Outwitting the Devil. So it came out, I think, about 6-7 years ago. And it was in the vaults apparently for like 90 years because it was deemed as so controversial. And basically the book is about him talking to the devil. So he places the book as if he is sitting opposite the devil and he's talking. And the devil's talking back to him and he's talking back. And the devil is basically saying stuff to him like, I don't want you to like work hard. Like, I'm going to distract you and give you these distractions and all this kind of stuff. It's an amazing book. I read the audio, I listened to the audio book as well. You could probably find it on YouTube. And the audio book is amazing because the guy who's doing the voice of the devil is like, you know, like I imagine like a 1950s version of the devil, like, I'm listening to you. And I'm going to be like, I've been, but it's such an amazing book. So basically, the voice of the devil is basically our own. Sometimes it's our own subconscious voice. Like, you know, why are we procrastinating? You procrastinate because you're feeling lazy or whatever. And in this, it tells you that it's the devil doing that, saying these things, or making your mind think that these things are not achievable or not attainable. And what he does is he's basically, by having these conversations with the devil, he exposes the devil. And then by the end of the book, the devil's like, no, you can't tell the world these things. These are my secrets, blah, blah, blah. But it's really empowering and it's a very interesting book. So when you were saying that, it kind of reminded me of that. And I suppose there's religious elements to it as well. But the reason why obviously it was so controversial and wasn't released for so long was because obviously attitudes back then were, you know, a lot more different. So it was seen as a lot more controversial, like sitting down and personifying these thoughts as a devil. Like, I don't think it's meant to be taken literally. I don't think he actually sat down, and the book isn't about literally having a conversation with the devil, but it's kind of our own worst enemy sometimes we can be, and that's what it's about. But I'd really recommend that. Think and Grow Rich is a good book as well.
You read a lot, Rax?
I've read a lot. I listened to a lot of audiobooks. I know you were saying you wanted to read a lot more. Last year I read a lot more than I normally do.
I used to read a lot in school. I don't know why actually, but I read a lot because I was forced, and then just got into it. And then when the internet came about, out the window. Yeah. But when I went New York, got back into reading a lot more. When I went Florida, I was reading there. I don't know why I want to go abroad. It just makes me want to read.
Me too. But, when I travel on a plane, I'll want to read.
Yeah, but when I went New York, so I was watching that Jeffrey Dahmer thing on the plane, innit?
Okay.
Did you tell me to watch that?
I don't know.
Rax tells me to watch the maddest shit. Yeah.
I might have actually.
Yeah, so my YouTube. So Rax will be like, okay, I think you should watch this. Yeah, and then if you go to my YouTube now, you see mad shit like this son killed his dog or some shit like that. Like, you know, like mad shit.
It's Oki's weird stories, isn't it?
Yeah, just weird stories. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I just watch one thing and it was inspired to something else. But yeah, going back to what I was saying. So I traveled to New York on my own. I was meeting a couple of friends out there, and did I travel to New York on my own? Did I go on my own side?
Yeah.
Did I meet them out there? Yeah, I did, because I had a couple of hours that day. So we went at the same time, but they were there a couple of hours before me. And so I downloaded the whole Jeffrey Dahmer series.
Okay.
So you know the first episode is
you told me this story.
So have you watched it?
No.
So basically, you know what the Jeffrey Dahmer story is, though, isn't it? Yeah. Long story cut short, like kills people, serial killer, kills people, and he's known for taking hearts and eating it.
Them. Yeah.
He eats
Messed
it.
Up guy, bro.
Fucked up guy.
It's real.
Yeah. Real life stories.
Story.
But so the first episode is this Dick Chair. All right. So the first episode is him. He's now got this guy from a bar. He chirps this guy. I don't know how, but he chirps this geezer because he's gay, and he takes it back to his yard. And this guy now has to. He clocked that this guy's gonna dops him, and he's basically said, "I'm gonna eat your heart" and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
He's locked the door. He can't escape, innit? He's stuck
basically that. So this guy's now dancing for his life. So he takes his top off, this black guy, yeah, and he's doing the maddest sauciest dance. He's dancing mad saucy. So imagine a stripper, yeah.
He's like just.
The first thing I thought when you said that was Terry Crews.
No, it wasn't like that, but like, no, it wasn't like that. It's a lot like, how do I say this?
He's like imagine like a male stripper trying to seduce someone.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. Yeah.
To the killer guy.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
just them two in a room by themselves, and the guy is like, obviously, he says, "Let me dance for you," because he's trying to escape. So he's thinking of clever ways of keeping this guy inside. So he's like, "Let me dance for you." So then he starts dancing.
Starts dancing mad, yeah, like
It's bare awkward.
bare belly rolls and all of that, yeah. But it's weird when you look at it, it's fucked, yeah. He's dancing, but bearing in mind, I'm traveling on my own, innit?
Yeah.
Obviously, man, don't travel business class. I ain't got peas like that, yeah. So I looked to my right, there's a guy and a woman there, but they obviously see me watching this thing. So he was, what the fuck's this guy watching? And then they definitely want English, yeah. So they think, what's this guy watching? Some black guy just dancing like mad, topless, with some other guy with a knife. That is just mad weird. So I'm like, I need to be careful with what I'm watching
in public.
in public. I did it on the train, so I've got this thing where I just watch on the trains now because my journey's so long on the underground. I just watch stuff on the train. So what was I watching before? It was something mad like that as well. But I was just like, I messaged Rex. I was like, probably it's all your fault. I keep doing this stuff and people
It's
start
very
doing me.
awkward though, you know. When there's like, so I remember watching, but I can't remember which film it was. But now they used to edit these films, innit? On the planes, they used to edit them, so like PG films.
Yeah.
Now, if there's like a sex scene or there's like a intimate scene, it's straight there. So it's sometimes bare awkward. You're sitting there, and then your row's just sitting there, and they're just like, okay, they're gonna start kissing now,
Yeah.
like getting naked, like.
Yeah, the kissing naked is the least of it nowadays, man. Before we wrap up, Rax, you just had a release come out recently.
Yeah.
That last time I saw you actually. We had your album release.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the viewers and the listeners quickly what you've released?
Yeah, our EP, Sad Boy Hours, 3 songs for you to cry to at night when you're feeling sad.
Yeah.
And then my album, Content, which I spent a long time working on and I'm super proud of.
We're proud as
So,
well.
yeah.
Very proud of you all for that. And well done for whacking that out during a tough time, I'd say.
Yeah. It's
During
been
a tough couple of years.
But yeah, we got it out.
Yeah, it's done now. And on to the next one. Rax, you're flying out to India.
I'm off in a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. It's good. Decent.
BRB.
Hopefully me and Sach can see you out there.
Come through.
That'd be sick though if you could do that, innit?
Sach, you're coming, aren't you?
I'm trying.
If you can get him to come,
Yeah.
As soon
I'm
as the
there.
house is
Alright.
done, I'm good to go.
There you go.
if we can get him
Done.
out, I'm done.
Done.
I'll be there.
Done.
But
Can I get a visa there?
there's
Let's see. We'll figure that out, bro.
we'll try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Let me give Rishi a call.
Yeah. What, Sunak or Rich?
He's our guy, bro. He's our guy.
Yeah. Pretty good. Let's end it. Okay, everyone, make sure you follow us at Moving Famous.
Moving Famous.
We're going to do this every month. So anything you want to ask myself, Rax, or Sach, just let us know. We're going to be dealing with everything and anything. This is the only podcast or episode that we're going to be talking about anything we want. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, everything. Till next time, boys.
What's this?
Safe.
Safe.
My battery.